Joe Biden went ahead and voted for the student bankruptcy bill. The student bankruptcy bill, meaning you can't declare bankruptcy on your student loans, even though you can declare bankruptcy on every other thing, right? When it comes to the Fuhrer, how many times he declared bankruptcy and then fuck over the contractor? So Joe Biden voted for the student bankruptcy bill. Bernie Sanders voted against it. He voted against it. That means Bernie Sanders is a revolutionary. And Joe Biden is a low-life piece of dirty, rotten, skank, taint, stank. Papa Bush. This is about Papa Bush and Israel. So Israel, right, the greatest, one indispensable nation. So many people have an allegiance to Israel more than they love America. They're going to let Israel sink America. But not Papa Bush. Not George H.W., the good old H.W., the original H.W., old Mr. Copperfield, old Mr. Reading My Lips, no taxes, Mr. I ended the Vietnam Syndrome. And the Vietnam Syndrome, what's that? America's reluctance to get entangled into another war after Vietnam. His Iraq war opened the floodgates for the world empire that we have now before us. But we liberated Kuwait, right? Poor little Kuwait. Papa Bush, he was actually good on Israel. And so's Baby Bush is going to be decent, at least. So Papa Bush, compared to Bill Clinton, Papa Bush is going to be more critical of Israel than Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, the Institute for Policy Studies in 2000, said that he shifted to the right. So Papa Bush, he went and stood up against AIPAC. He actually beat AIPAC. But he's going to lose 24% of his Jewish backing afterwards. November 23, 1991 is going to be the Madrid Peace Conference. It's the Prime Minister, Yitzhak Shamir. So Yitzhak Shamir is going to meet with Papa Bush at the Madrid Peace Conference because he put the pressure on. So this is going to be one of his most controversial moments. He just, won the Iraq War. He's got 70% approval rating at the time, 1991. So he's going to delay a loan guarantee to Israel until Israel stopped its settlement building in the West Bank and Gaza and entered into a peace conference with the Palestinians. So Papa Bush wasn't having this shit no more. He deferred the loan to go to Israel for 120 days, in spite of 1,000 pro-Israel lobbyists. He was actually complaining, I'm one little lonely guy down here. This is Papa Bush. I'm just one little lonely guy. I'm just one little lonely guy down here asking Congress to delay its consideration of loan guarantees for 120 days. I'm just one little guy. So that means he's got all these, essentially he's like, I'm having to stand up to this entire cabal. Something about Soviet Jews, so Israel needed a loan because there's a bunch of Jewish people coming from Soviet Russia, so the United States is going to help out with a $10 billion loan, It wouldn't give that out until Shamir agreed to those demands. So either A, stop the goddamn settlements in the West Bank and Gaza and start a peace conference, or B, you don't get your goddamn money. You don't get your $10 billion loan. And guess what? It worked. Israel, the Prime Minister, Yitzhak Shamir, on November 23rd, 1991, is going to meet with President George H.W. Bush at the Madrid Peace Conference. And later on, Baby Bush, so his child, right, he's going to call for a Palestinian state. Baby Bush is for a two-state solution. It's been the two-state American, U.S. policy has been for a two-state solution for decades. So I think Mike Gravel is right that it's too late for a two-state solution. It's just too late. So I'm just going to end it off on, when it comes to Israel and Palestine, America seems to, there's a clip in The Naked Gun, or maybe it was the Police Squad, or Leslie Nielsen, right? And I think it was one time it was Leslie Nielsen, and there was another time it was someone else. I don't know. They used the same joke, but it's fucking funny. But essentially, you just got two people on the street, and then you got the police officer with a bullhorn saying, nothing to see here, please move along. And then right behind them, they got all these big-ass explosions. Right behind them, they have, like, all this, carnage and massacres and explosion. So nothing to see here, even though it's totally something to see. So America looks at Israel and Palestine just like that. Israel's got a gun. Israel's got a gun pointing to Palestinians, the head of the Palestinians. So Israel's got to head to Palestine. Palestine, meanwhile, is duct tape. Mouth is duct tape tied up to a chair in the middle of a damp, cold basement. And Israel's got a gun pointed to Palestine's head, and America walks in on this scene, and they're like, huh, I guess there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Yeah, there is something to see here. Israel's a bunch of racist pieces of shit. They need to stop being fucking racist. Palestinians have a right to exist, too. And it's Israel. Israel's the one that's trying to wipe out Palestine. So, okay, they're both being little kids. Then let's just occupy them. Let's just, occupy them. Get American occupation. Since Israel's so in favor of occupation, let's just occupy Israel. And just, force them to act properly, to act right. So, yeah, I don't really like a lot of the former presidents, but Papa Bush showed some courage when it comes to Israel that none of the Republicans have today, and only like 5% of the Democrats. And one of the 5% of the Democrats is Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders, the Jew, who's, being critical of Israel. The Jew is being critical of Israel. Why would he wants to save Israel. He wants to make sure Israel maintains its Jewish nature. So he doesn't want to turn it into a secular state like Mike Gravel. And because he wants to maintain its Jewish nature, he wants to make sure that Israel stays Jewish. That means Palestine has to stay Muslim. Two-state solution. That protects the Jewish Israel. That's what Bernie Sanders is all about. And then I remember somebody told me, a Zionist said, oh, what, you and Bernie Sanders thinks that Palestinians are people too? Why don't you get the hell out of here? Why don't I leave? You're the one that's, you're pledging your allegiance to a foreign nation. You're pledging your allegiance to a foreign nation. You're the one who loves another country more than your own. You're going to tell me to leave. You're going to tell the Jew who says stop murdering people. You're going to tell the people that are peaceful to leave. Well, hell, shit. The oppressed have become the oppressors. Alright, I'm John Masters. It's August 18th, 2019. Peace!